Yo, what's up everybody, it's Victon here with a guide for the currency making strategy that I have been using for the last few days to farm enough currency to fully fund my next build. It's a bossing strat that is medium investment, medium effort, which is my favorite part, but high returns. It's a pretty common strat that a lot of folks have been using for the last several leagues now. It has stood the test of time and is still profitable, so you guys can have a bit of confidence that you can definitely earn some nice currency doing this. It'll net you at a minimum of 5 exalts an hour and upwards of 7 to 8 exalts an hour, depending on how fast you can actually run the maps. With my skeleton mage build that is great for boss killing but isn't the fastest at actually running to the boss, I was making an average of about 7.3 exalts an hour, which for me isn't bad at all considering it's a pretty medium investment strat like I said. Now specifically for this strategy, we're going to be killing the Shaper Guardians and then running the Formed Maven invitations after doing all 4 Guardians. You'll be bulk selling Shaper sets and Maven's Writs for the bulk of your profit. You're also going to be getting a ton of maps to sell and make some nice extra side currency with some metamorphs. The nice thing about the new Atlas passive tree though is that you can really do several different strategies here within this base strat and make good currency. As long as there's a Scarab for it, then you can add it to the base strat. Sadly, Sextants don't work with these Guardian maps, so we're just going to be juicing the Scarabs. I'm going to be linking several Atlas passive trees below for a few different options. Personally though, I chose Metamorph because it is super brain dead, and you just kill the Metamorph monsters as you clear to the boss, and you don't have to stop along the way like you would for Legions or Blights or anything like that. You just kind of derp your way to the boss, killing the Metamorph monsters along the way, and then you kill the boss, and then you go do some juicy Metamorphs at the very end. On top of getting some nice currency from those map metamorphs, you also get to run a ton of metamorphs in Tain's laboratory for even more currency. It's nothing crazy, but it's a nice passive income on the side. I actually got a couple exalts specifically from metamorphs at the end of the map, and then one in Tain's laboratory, so it definitely worked out for me. If you're lazy like me, this is what I would suggest. Doing Blight could be another good option here though if you don't mind stopping mid-map to do the Blight. Same with Harbingers, it would probably be more currency per hour but slightly more initial investment since these Scarabs cost more. You're also going to be doing less Guardian maps an hour, so that's another thing to consider. One thing to note though is don't bother with Legions at all because these Guardian maps are really small and their layouts for Legions are just really bad. Anyways, now that you guys have a base idea of the strategy, let's dive into the specifics on how to set this up. First, let's chat about the Atlas passive tree that the strat is built around. So here is the tree that I have been using. Basically, I'm getting all of these nodes up here to give me a higher chance to drop Shaper and Guardian maps from the bosses, and it's also going to allow for these Guardians to bring in extra Guardians during the fight, and you're going to drop their fragments too. Getting these extra free fragments definitely nets you a ton of free currency. We're also getting these synthesis nodes up here to help us drop some synthesis maps. These sell for about 30 chaos, so it's a nice bonus when they drop. Following the trend here, we're also going to get this node up here to help drop more Conqueror maps. These maps actually sell for 30C each, which is really nice when they drop, and they actually drop quite frequently. From there, we're basically going to be getting all the metamorph nodes possible. This allows for a rogue metamorph to spawn sometimes for a bit of extra currency. It also makes a lot more samples drop, so we're going to be getting some pretty juicy metamorph bosses at the end of each map, and we're going to be even getting to fight 2 metamorph bosses for some nice extra currency as well. Lastly, we're going to focus on getting a ton of nodes that boost our map sustain, and also getting higher level maps to drop too, so a lot of tier 16 maps of your choice. Personally, I like City Square. Those sell for 3C in bulk, but you can put in any map here that you want, not really just City Square. You're going to be getting a ton of them to, like I said, either sell or run yourself. And that's it for the passive tree. Pretty straightforward. Moving on to the Scarabs that we're going to be running. We're going to be going with Gilded Metamorph Scarabs to make sure that each map actually has these metamorphs. It also allows us to get more samples and drop more metamorph fragments to then use in Tain's lab. These go for 3 chaos in bulk, so really not too bad. We're also going to be going with Gilded Cartography Scarabs to help us get as many maps as possible. This comboed with the Atlas passive tree that gives us 13.5% chance to duplicate maps, you end up with a ton of maps. After 20 Shaper sets, I ended up with over 100 City Square maps. These Scarabs go for 3 chaos in bulk as well, so some pretty solid profits to be made there. Lastly, we just use some Azeri fragments to boost the map's quantity a bit. These are incredibly cheap, so no real reason to not use them. As far as the map mod from Kurak, I've been using the base 8% quantity one that you get for free. You can technically use Fortune Favors the Brave for 3 chaos since that combos really well with our Atlas passive tree to give the map even more quantity, but it's not needed and I ended up being a little bit lazy when I ran these and not even doing the mod that it gave me, so it was kind of a waste. I would say to use these if you're running Blight on the map though, or if you choose to go with Expedition. Mechanics like that benefit heavily from map quantity, so getting the extra little bit from Fortune Favors the Brave is definitely worth it. And like I said, no sextants. Do make sure that you get 20% quantity from chisels on all of your maps, and definitely alch them. Ideally you want at least 70% quantity on them, but I personally was voling them all as well to get even more quantity when possible. Now, it is important to make sure you guys are letting Maven watch these fights, so that after you do all 4 Guardian maps, you can run the formed Maven invitation. This is a big part of the strat. I bought 20 sets of Shaper Guardian maps for 8 exalts off of the Forbidden Trove Discord, which I will have linked in the description of this video, and is also the place that you can sell all of your bulk maps, sets, and Maven's Writs. But selling all of those Maven's Writs from doing the Maven invitation actually netted me 16 exalts total. So just those writs alone paid for all of the sets I bought, and even doubled that. All the other profit I made from selling these Shaper sets, getting Metamorph drops, and general drops from the maps was just extra profit. Like I said, medium investment for high returns. To get the most out of your formed invitations though, make sure you run at least 75-ish quantity. This is about the point where you can drop 6 splinters instead of 5, so if your build can do it, I definitely suggest spending the extra currency to roll these maps to 75% quantity, then vol them all to try and get it even higher. Out of my 20 Guardian sets I ran, I ended up only having to buy 3 the formed invitations, and was able to self-sustain the rest. These do cost about 40C, so it kind of does suck when you have to buy them, but it's still totally worth, and you'll easily make that profit back. Last thing to note here is that once you've done all of your sets, remember that you have a ton of Metamorph samples to use, so go to your Tain's laboratory and make some extra currency. And that's it guys, pretty basic strat, and most all builds can actually do this pretty comfortably once you've gotten to the sort of in-game version of your build. I like it because the bulk of the currency that you make comes from the Maven's Writs, the Shaper sets, and maps, all of which you can sell in bulk pretty easily. So less time trading, more time slaying. The maps are also pretty easy to run, so it requires very little brain function to do them. A perfect Netflix and game strat for sure. My next video I'm going to be releasing is how to efficiently farm Wave 30 Simulacrums, so if you're interested, make sure to sub the channel, like the video, and hit that notification bell. Also drop a comment below, let me know how y'all's leagues are going so far. What builds are you guys playing? What are y'all's favorite map strats? All that good stuff, I want to know it. And I'm also going to leave you guys with the remainder of this run here. I completed the full run in about 15 minutes. That includes all 4 Shaper Guardian maps, and then killing the form. So I hope you guys enjoy that as well. Anyways, that's all I got for this one, guys. I hope you all enjoyed, and I will see you all in the next one.